It's Halloween. I didn't know much about octopi.
I feel like I've been here before.
Hey everybody, my name is Nicole. Welcome to the Pine Cottage. I haven't been here in a while. Here we talk about all things knitting, reading, and simple living, mostly knitting. Today we are going to talk about all the things that I've been up to so far this fall. In this episode, we're mostly going to talk about knitting because I have not done a whole lot of reading. I hope you will grab something cozy to drink and join me. I do have one exciting thing to share with you, which I've been hinting at on Instagram if you follow me there. You can find me on Instagram as the.pine.cottage. I would love it if you would join me there because I am more active there than anywhere else. I feel like I'm all over the place. The first thing I want to do is catch you up on this vest that I've been knitting for my dad for almost a year now. It will be a year Christmas, and I am still not finished with it. But I only have a little bit more to go, and I would have finished it if my brain hadn't decided to go off in a completely different direction and ditch everything that I've been working on to focus on this one thing, which I will share with you in a little bit. But I will show you that I really am very far on this vest, and I can't wait to finish it. So once I get to a point where I am done with the main project that I'm working on, I will come back to this. But I am knitting this in Swish DK from Knit Picks in the colorway Indigo Heather, which I've shared before. And I really do like this yarn. Purple is his favorite color, so that's why I chose it. And let me kind of find what's going on here. Okay. So I have the complete back done. And he is very tall. He's 6'2", and he wears like tall men's shirts. So I had to make sure that this was going to be long enough for him. So that's the back. And then the front is almost done. I am at the point, it's going to be a V-neck. So I'm at the point where I'm going to start the V. And then all I'll have to do is add in the ribbing for the armholes and the neckline. So I really am almost done. I'm looking forward to finishing it up soon, probably within this next month. So the next time I meet with you, I'm hoping that I will have it done. So this sweater vest is living in this project bag by This Handmade Life. Olivia is the maker and she does a wonderful job. I have several of her bags. So it is living in here. And as soon as I'm done with my main squeeze, I will get back to the vest. The next thing that I want to show you is a pair of socks that I started working on before I just ditched everything else. And this is on also Knit Picks, but this is the Stroll Tweed yarn. This is a fingering weight yarn. And this is in the colorway Barn Door Heather. And I really enjoy this color. And this is a pair of Hermione's Everyday socks. And these are just for me. And so I didn't mind taking a little break. I'm just past the heel and I am now knitting in the round. But I put them aside. If you have questions about how I knit my plain socks, I've mentioned it before, but I generally do, 20 rows of 2x2 rib, and then 70 to 75 stitches in the leg. I do a slip stitch, heel flap, and gusset, and then I don't know if you can see here, I'm only doing the stitch pattern on the top, and then the bottom is stockinette, the top of the foot. And then I do 72 rounds for the foot because that is for my size 9.5 US feet. And then I just decrease for the toe. So that is that. And I'm only, up to that point on the first sock. My main project has been something really exciting because I wanted to make handmade stockings for my family. I had bought stockings, like machine knitted stockings for my children when they were born, because when I was a child, my brother and I had homemade stockings made crocheted by my grandma. I had those to show for you. They are granny stitch, and this one is mine, and this one was my brother's. And his is stretched because he would put it on his foot and just stretch it because he thought that he would get more presents that way. So these are like 46 years old, and they have stood the test of time. Now, I don't use these for my kids because I had purchased machine knitted stockings from the store for them, but they were like red and green, and they used those for a long time. And then when my brother passed, my mom gave me his stocking, and so then I gave them a choice. You can use the ones that you've been using, or you can use, you know, our stockings from when we were little, and they've switched back and forth depending on the year what they wanted to use. But Tony and I have never had stockings together with them, and I really wanted 4 stockings hanging up as our family. I also don't always love to decorate with red and green for Christmas. I'm a very neutral, as you know, person in my colors and my decorating, and so I wanted to knit something that could be an heirloom piece for the kids, and then something that I could knit for their children to add on and match what they have. And I just thought, I'm going to design stockings. I don't have any intention of becoming a knitwear designer. I don't think of myself as one. This is the first thing that I'm ever designing, but I felt like I knit enough socks to know the construction backwards and forwards of how to knit a sock. I can figure out how to change it for sizing to make it larger, and this is a great time to learn how to incorporate stitch patterns into that. So I decided I'm just gonna go for it and see what happens. If no one wants to purchase my design, that's okay, I won't be offended, but I needed it for us, and I just thought that I would share it with all of you in case you like it and you wanna do the same for your family. So it started out as I wanted to hold DK weight yarn double to make a thick, sturdy stocking, because I know, at least for my kids, they really, when they were toddlers and even older, would put these on their legs and walk around and play with them. Also, you want it to be able to be sturdy enough to really be able to stretch it out when you're putting presents in there, because some of the things that you put in there can really, if there's no give, like a lot of the store-bought stockings, I feel like there's not enough give to really squeeze things in there. And I like to pack my stockings. I mean, the stockings for Christmas time, I feel like is the most fun gift because it's always a surprise. You never know what's in there, and it's just the best part, in my opinion. So I wanted it to be able to have a little bit of give for me to really be able to stuff things in there. The size, I know a lot of store-bought stockings are smaller, so they sometimes look better on the fireplace, but to me, it's not realistic. I'm used to these big stockings that my grandma made to be able to really fit some larger gifts in there, or more gifts, whatever you want to do, and just to have more room. So I wanted them a similar size. So this was my practice round, and it just was not what I wanted, but it was good to practice because I realized very quickly that it was not what I wanted. I started off with a 2x2 rib, and I did a folded over sewn cuff so it doesn't, unfold. And I thought that I would like that, but then when I did one that was not sewn, a folded cuff sewn, I liked the other way better. This is also 100% acrylic yarn that I used, and I just held DK weight double. And I really do not like the feel. I wanted it to be machine washable, but it just didn't have that cozy wool feeling that I wanted. So I knew that I didn't want to go 100% acrylic. I did choose to do a shadow wrap heel on all of these, which I'm sticking with. I really enjoy the look for a stocking. You don't see those slip stitches here. It looks more like a traditional stocking using that heel. And then this foot is a little bit on the shorter side. It was a little short and stubby on this one. So this was my like practice stocking, which I decided not to go with it. So I'll use it for something else. That's that one. So the first real stocking that I decided to go with was this, and I'm calling this my Good Tidings stocking. And this one I did decide to do a regular cuff that you can fold over, and I added wooden beads and bells to this one. And this is the first stitch pattern that I completed, and I'm calling this the Good Tidings stocking. So I just added these to the cast on tail, but if you don't want to do that, you can just, you know, sew in an extra something, or to have nothing at all and just sew in the end if you didn't want anything. And again, I did the shadow wrap heel, and I decreased for the toe without the pattern at the toe. And so this is, and I don't feel like it's too big. I feel like it's a good size for gifts. So this is the first stocking. It's going to be a set of 4. Even though I knit that one first, the first pattern that I will show in the bundle is going to be just a plain stockinette stocking. And that way it can be modified to anything that you might want. You can do it in different colors. Now, if you'll notice, there is a thick section there because this is a 1x1 rib, and because of the stitch pattern, I initially did not compensate for that. In the finished pattern, I do change that, so that will not be there. But these are my these are my samples and my practice. So I also, don't feel like I need to have this. I don't have to grade it for sizes or anything, and I don't feel like I really need to do a test knit for it because there aren't different sizes or anything like that. So I'm really enjoying making one of each pattern so that I can work out the kinks for you guys before I release it. So this is just a plain stockinette, which will be offered, and I just put a tassel on this one. Good Tidings, which is this stitch pattern, and here it is up close. And then the third one is called the Comfort and Joy stocking, which I am currently working on right now. And it is this pattern. And I really love how squishy this one is. I really, really love it. This plain one I didn't block, so it's not as drapey yet, but it will be. And then once I block this, it really will be like really soft and drapey. I didn't mention, I did change from acrylic to this is an acrylic wool blend. And I feel like that's just a good amount of both to be able to give it structure, to be able to make it machine washable, but also give it some of that soft wool feel. It doesn't feel like acrylic-y, plasticky. I really enjoy using that. The yarn that I'm using for these is Kramer something. I will put it on the screen. I bought this from a D-stash that Svenja Knits was doing in this color, and I had just enough to make 2 stockings out of what I purchased from her D-stash. So that's why I used it, because I didn't have quite enough to do a sweater, and I'm like, what am I going to use this for? And then it was perfect to knit these stockings. So I decided to stick with that yarn, and I purchased this color to use the same brand of yarn, and I really like it. So that's what I used. You can use any DK weight yarn, just hold it double, or any equivalent yarn if you have like a bulky or a chunky that you can use. So that's 3. And the fourth one I'm also going to do in this fluff. This color is called Fluff. I'm going to do it in this color, and it's going to be called Winter Wonderland, and it's going to look like snow. So I'm really excited, and I'm hoping to release this pattern November 15th. If you are interested, I've never done this before, so I'm sure there will be some roadblocks, but I'm going to try to release it on Ravelry and Etsy. And November 15th is my target date. I'm finding that writing a pattern is very time consuming because I want to make sure that I'm really walking people through it. Like, I'm looking at this as, you know, if a beginner wanted to knit these patterns. There are no cables, there's no color work. It's all knits and purls and slip stitches. So I feel like this is a great thing for a beginner knitter to be able to do, but I really want to write the pattern so that there are no questions. They can just follow the pattern. I am finishing up this one. I'm going to knit up the Winter Wonderland one and have everything written up hopefully by November 15th. That is my goal. I love Christmas so much and I'm excited, and I want to give people plenty of time to knit them if they want to either give these as gifts for Christmas or use them themselves for Christmas. So this is the Pine Cottage Christmas stocking bundle, almost completed, and there's one more to come. I hope you like it. I'm excited to hang these up on my fireplace. I also need to take pictures of them. We don't have a real fireplace in this house, but my parents do. So I think I'm gonna go to their house and do a little photo shoot with them once they're all finished. I also am going to release each of the 3 patterned ones separately. If you don't want to mix and match the patterns and you want all one stitch pattern, you can just buy the one pattern. So it'll be less expensive and you can just knit however many stockings you want in that one pattern. If you want the bundle and you like to mix and match, it will be discounted. I think I'm going to do each pattern will be like $5 separately, and then the bundle I think I'm going to do $12. I think that's what I decided on. I think that that is not too crazy, and you're essentially getting, you know, the plain one for free. If I'm not finished with the Winter Wonderland stocking before the 15th, I will release the other one separately. But if you would like to wait for the bundle, because if you price it out, it will be cheaper to get the bundle, and you know that you want to knit all of them together, I would wait. Don't purchase, you know, them separately. So that's all. I did get my monthly yarn from Palmer Yarn Company and from Farmer's Daughter Fibers. We are in the last, there's one more month to go. I got October and November from both of them. So I have one more month left in those subscriptions, and I have loved being a part of those and getting that yarn every month, but I am not going to join another monthly yarn subscription next year. I have already decided I really want to work through what I have, and I keep saying that, and then yarn keeps coming in. So really, no. I'm saying no a lot. This is like me getting reoriented with my minimalist mindset. I'm saying no to deadlines. I'm saying no to purchases that I don't need, and just kind of reacclimating myself to less is more, because it has gotten a little bit out of hand, I feel like, just in all aspects, between us finishing our basement and the holidays are coming, and I just feel like I need to streamline and make things very simple. Let me show you what I got. Having said all that, one second. These were purchases that I just wanted. I didn't need. They weren't part of a sock subscription. I just wanted them. This is her Bighorn sock base in the colorway Mountain Morning. And I just wanted to have it. I have no excuse. I just wanted to have it. And this is her 80% merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards, 100 grams. Oh, so beautiful. And then I could not pass this up. This is Autumn Glow. And you guys, I know there are so many of us out there who love fall, but I just couldn't not have this. And I do have a similar colorway that I purchased last year from a different yarn dyer to make a sweater. And that's what I want. I want to focus on. I have all of this yarn. I really want to focus on projects that I intended for the yarn, instead of just going off on a whim and having all these deadlines. I want to dig into what I have and really empty that dresser out so that I can add more later. So anyway, this is Autumn Glow. These two were from Naughty Pine, and they're just delicious. And so for October, this was Palmer Yarn Company's October. This is the colorway Sly. And it's also very beautiful. Definitely gonna make a pair of socks with this. And this was October for Farmer's Daughter Fibers. And this is in her sock base, 75% merino and 25% nylon. The colorway The Borrowers. And I love this combination of this blue with this rusty color. Oh, that's so good. So that is that. I'm also going to show you November. So if you haven't received yours or you haven't looked at them, you might want to look away. So I'm going to show you the Palmer Yarn Company and the Farmer's Daughter Fibers for November right now. Don't look if you don't want to see. This is another month where she did 3 little mini skeins, 2 50s and a 20-gram mini. And this is Mourning the Abundance. I really love these 2 colors. Sorry, my hair's on there. The third, I don't feel like it goes well with those, and I don't like it. I'm just being honest. So I will not be using this one. But these 2, I like. Palmer Yarn Company, see? This is Cosmic, and this is 80/20. This, whew, beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So those were my acquisitions. As far as reading goes, I didn't mention, I did listen to a book, and I don't remember if it was September or October, probably September, because I don't think I read a thing in October other than poetry. And it was called, I can't remember. It was about an octopus. I know, like, most people have read it. Something ordinary. I don't know. I'll put it up here. It was a lovely fiction book, and it was fun to listen to. I loved the narration. I loved the narration of the octopus. It was fantastic. So if you haven't read it, which I feel like it's very popular, I feel like most people have read it. If you haven't, I would recommend listening to it, which I never do because I hate audiobooks, but I like audiobooks when I'm knitting or when I'm on a long drive or something. So that was a good one. It was funny because years ago I had read a nonfiction book about a woman's relationship with an octopus, and I will put that book up here. I also recommend reading it, and it was just fascinating. I didn't know much about octopi. I didn't know much about them, and so reading the nonfiction book really was just surprising to me. Like, wow, these animals are so complex and intelligent, and I never would have imagined that. So having read that nonfiction book prior to reading the fiction one, I feel like, I don't know, I feel like it was a good mix. I mean, if you're a fan of octopus, you might want to read them. I really don't have a plan or a promise as to how I'm going to be recording the next few videos. October was a really busy month for me. We had our last camping trip, which was really fun, but sad to be closing up our camper for the season. And I threw a 50th wedding anniversary for my parents, which took up a lot of my time, a lot of my knitting time and reading time, which is why I don't have a whole lot to show you, and I haven't really recorded. It was just too much happening. So that is over, and it was beautiful and wonderful, and I'm so happy that I was able to do that for them because they are just special in my life, and I wanted to do something for them because they do so much for me even still. That was really wonderful to be able to do. And now I feel like, okay, I can get back to what I'm working on with my creative hobbies. But I'm also approaching it from a different angle. In the past, I've knitted a lot of Christmas gifts. And when I look at what I've completed at the end of the year, like all the things that I've knit, a lot of it, probably over half of it, is gift knitting. And I feel like that's so much time, and that's so much time that I devote to this craft that I don't have to show for it because I'm giving it away. Not to say that I don't enjoy giving handmade gifts. I definitely do. And I enjoy giving knitted gifts. But I think that I've expanded it so much that I was kind of losing the joy of it because of the deadlines. Like, oh, I need to get X amount of socks knitted before this date. And that's just a lot of pressure. And I don't want knitting to be pressure. I want it to be fun. I want it to be enjoyable. I've decided not to knit any gifts for Christmas this year, and I'm feeling okay about that. I still am going to do some handmade things. I'm still going to make homemade things. I can't get through a Christmas without putting a personal touch on things. I may knit a couple things for my children, but I'm just going to leave it at that this year, and I'm going to feel okay about that. So that is my plan. I really want it to be low key, and I want to be able to enjoy my December without feeling the pressure of a deadline. That also frees up space for me to start knitting on some of the things that I have patterns for that I've been wanting to knit and I just haven't been able to because I'm finishing up deadlines for something else. And again, the deadlines stress me out. So I am changing gears a little bit. I think that will also afford me more time to be able to sit down and really chat and engage with all of you about what I'm working on, because I'm not furiously working on something for a deadline. Anyway, I'm not saying that I'll never knit Christmas gifts again, because that's just not realistic. But for now, I'm not. This year, I am not. I made a lot of mixed berry preserves for the party, and I have some ideas for some Christmas jam to make in the coming month. Just getting together like homemade, handmade Christmas gifts that are special, that you are excited to give. If you have any suggestions, I am taking them, so feel free to put them in the comments below. Anything homemade or handmade that you like to give as gifts. I'm definitely gonna do some Christmas jam. I don't know, I might bake some bread for people, but I don't know. If you have some other ideas, let me know. I did homemade vanilla extract last year, so I don't think I'm gonna do that again. Also, I didn't prep like 6 months ago. I should have started that and I didn't. So yeah, let me know. What do you guys do? I need some ideas. November is just going to be a lot of working on this pattern to get it out and released to you guys. And of course, US Thanksgiving will be at the end of the month, and then bring on the Christmas time. I am definitely one who likes to put up her Christmas decor early because I just love Christmas so much. But this year I am enjoying my fall decor, and I'm not ready to give it up yet. So I really think that I am going to just slow down and enjoy each day as it comes, enjoy being in the present, and I'm gonna wait till after Thanksgiving this year to put my Christmas stuff up. We are definitely trick-or-treating. My kids are a little bit older now, so my daughter is 14 and she's going to be going out trick-or-treating with her friends. My son is 11 and he is having one of his buddies come over to trick-or-treat with him, but I still walk around with him. So we are looking forward to it. I'm hoping that it doesn't rain, but it's going to be a beautiful day. It's supposed to be like 75 degrees, which is crazy. That doesn't feel like autumn to me. I'm rambling. If you enjoyed this podcast and you are not subscribed, please feel free to do so that you can join in on our little community here. I cannot promise that I will be here weekly or monthly, but I do my best, and I love being here with you. I will say that most of the time I increase my videos during the upcoming months because I just am doing a lot of cozy knitting fun things, and I think it'll be more of the same. So I hope you'll join me next time, and thank you so much for being here today, and I hope you're enjoying this fall season and doing lots of cozy things with your family, and I will see you in the next one.